hoy, ¿verdad? En el podcast estaban hablando de cómo ayudar a la comunidad en español y pues nosotros trabajamos en Dealers Energy, ahora tenemos una persona que habla en español, que soy yo, y nosotros podemos ayudarles con diferentes trainings, así sea en el teléfono, sea en tu CRM, en lo que sea que necesites ayuda en español, nosotros podemos proveerte eso.
Autoweb. Bienvenido a Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast, the #1 resource for automotive sales professionals, managers, and owners to learn how to make money, accumulate wealth, and to all out ball out in the auto industry. And now your hosts, Sean V. Bradley and L.A. Williams.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Autoweb.
Hey everybody, this is Sean V. Bradley, the president of Dealer Synergy. Wow, baby, yeah, look at that. And I'm with my girl here, V Vega Melendez. What's up, V?
What's up, Sean? I'm glad to be here, excited, and ready to speak about it.
All right, good. So let's get right into it. So V, you've been in the automotive industry for how many years now?
3 years.
3 years, and you have about a year and a half in a BDC working. You worked at in Pennsylvania at the Piazza Auto Group, and you worked at also the Patriot Auto Group, correct?
Yep, that is correct.
Okay, and for the last year and a half, you've been an analyst at Dealer Synergy for our company. So first, let's hear your background. Obviously, I hear a little accent. So where are you from?
So I'm from Puerto Rico. I lived there for 17 years of my life, and I graduated high school and I decided it was time for a change. So I decided to move here to the United States, and I've been here for the past 6 years, and I don't change anything that I've been living here. It's been amazing.
Okay, so talk to me. When you were in Puerto Rico, did you speak English over there or mostly just Spanish?
No, they don't teach you any English over there unless you teach yourself. So most of the time it was all Spanish.
All right, so when you were in Puerto Rico, it was just Spanish. So when you came over to the United States, did you speak any English whatsoever?
No, I had to, I understand a little bit. In Puerto Rico, I had to teach myself. So I started listening to music in English, read a little bit, and try to, have a basic on English. But when I first came here, I was a little bit scared because it was not my first language. And, hearing people speaking English kind of scared me a little bit. But then I decided to take some classes and get better with my English, writing it and speaking it. And that's why, right now, my English is getting much better. And
the reason why I'm asking, I think it's just important because I've interviewed several really amazing salespeople. On the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast, I interviewed somebody that was a detail person that got into sales and wound up selling 50 cars a month. I mean, just crazy. But when he came here, he didn't speak any English either. So I want to just paint the picture before we get into the current stuff is that you were born in Puerto Rico, you lived 17 years in Puerto Rico, then you came over to the United States and you didn't speak any English. You understood a little bit before you got here, but you pretty much taught yourself all that. So is that hard or easy to learn English, in an English speaking country?
It is really hard because, in Puerto Rico, we're used to, I speak Spanish 17 years of my life. So learning a complete new language and try to write it and try to speak it, it was my hardest challenge, try to have my pronunciation and people to understand me. So I tried to actually watch Netflix, put it in English and put the subtitles in English so I can see the word and I can hear it. So that helped me a lot with my pronunciation and actually writing as well. So that's why I taught myself.
That's amazing. That really is. Okay, so you're over here, you get into the BDC and we'll get into the regular car people stuff. I want to talk about the Hispanic stuff. You're obviously a female Latina, you're female, you speak Spanish as your primary language. Let's get into it. Working at two different dealer groups, you had different exposure. So it's not like you only worked at one dealership. You have a couple of different perspectives, even before coming to my company with all the dealers that we work for, right? But when you personally work in a BDC, how do you feel the dealerships perceive the Spanish, speaking market and just Hispanic people in general. And again, I don't want to be rude or whatever, because, some of those people are our clients, you know what I mean? So I'm not being disrespectful. I'm asking your personal opinion as a Hispanic woman. What do you think the general impression is at dealerships for Spanish people when they come in, or they call, or they email?
Yeah, it's not a really good impression. I can tell you experience from both sides, as a customer and as an employee. And usually when I'm an employee, I don't see that they treat the community, not that they don't treat, it's like they don't have the enough resources to communicate with them. So for example, if there's no one in your dealership that speaks Spanish, how are you going to handle those Spanish leads? For lucky, in my first dealership, I was the first person to speak Spanish, so I could handle those leads and make sure I made the phone calls for those Spanish customers that needed my help. And when I was a customer, it actually happened with my dad. Nothing. He doesn't speak English at all. He's been here longer than me, and he doesn't speak English at all.
Pause that story, because I want you to tell that story in a second. So let's take the first part that you were saying, which I believe you to be accurate. I would agree with you. Is obviously, if there's dealers like in Texas or in California, or obviously, or in Miami, that are Spanish owners or Spanish speakers, they'll probably be more Spanish. You know what I mean? And that might not be as much in huge Spanish communities, but that's the minority of states. That are equipped. Dealers that are equipped to handle the Spanish prospect, the Spanish client, the Spanish, phone call, the Spanish email. For the most part, I would agree with you, V. I believe that most dealerships are vastly underprepared. They're, to your point, the simple aspect is not having somebody that could speak fluently or conversely in Spanish. That's a problem, because the Hispanic market is one of the largest demographics in the United States, and Spanish is I think it's the number 2 language in our country anyway.
I believe so.
And so, and then Puerto Rico is part of the United States. It's not like a different country. You're part of us. So I think that, dealers need to get prepared. So let's talk about that. How do they get prepared? Well, obviously having somebody on staff that speaks Spanish. If you don't, what you should do is you should be recruiting, screening, interviewing, and that's like the traditional ways. But then you should be in the Spanish community. You should be doing job fairs. You should be doing whatever you can to try to recruit a natural, not from just school. That's better than nothing. That somebody speaks Spanish as a hobby, but it's better to have somebody that's actually Hispanic or has studied and conversed, for many years in Spanish. So you have somebody of a certain skill level, that you're talking, because this is the second largest item in not only an American's lifetime, but in a minority's lifetime. You know what I mean? This is a car purchase is big. And I think it's too big to try to use Google Translate or something stupid like that. Would you agree?
No, I agree completely. And like I said, in my first dealership, I even had to call leads from when I wasn't even in the dealership, way before I started. So it's crazy to me that, all those leads were just sitting there waiting for someone to correspond then and making sure they get addressed. So yes, no, I agree. Absolutely.
So let's talk about, so the first thing that people could do is have Spanish speaking employees, right? Or even Spanish speaking resources. Because one of the things that I'm really proud of at Dealer Synergy, because of you, and there's a couple other people who speak Spanish in our company, but you speak the best, obviously. And, for the record, I'm Hispanic, your girlfriend, my daughter's Hispanic, my wife is Hispanic, and yada, yada, yada. But besides that, how many times do we help our clients, but they're lucky that they're our clients, because they'll have a situation and there's nobody in that dealership. So they have voice over IP phones that ring to your extension. So you're getting TOs all over the country in New Jersey because because dealers aren't prepared. So again, obviously I suggest the dealers out there to get a Spanish speaking employee, but if not, at least have somebody that's a vendor or a resource or even a part-time resource that you can hire or have to be able to help you facilitate this, because I believe that dealers are missing a tremendous amount of business because they don't have that Spanish speaking person. Do you agree?
I agree 100%. Yes. Yes.
All right.
Absolutely.
So next question is that, okay, so having somebody speak Spanish is one, but this is something that we talked about before. That's why I'm excited to talk about this. Finally, right?
Yes.
Is what about the paperwork? Because, I've interviewed, a ton of people client wise and, asking in exit strategy and CSI, like, how is the experience? And what I've got is that there's a lot of Hispanic people that even if they have somebody that speaks Spanish at the dealership, whether they speak it fluently or they speak it enough to get by, what really like upsets Hispanic people is that they can't understand the paperwork, whether it's the trade appraisal form, whether it's the credit application, whether it's the buyer's order, whether it's the actual contract, it's the F&I work. Can you talk about this? You know what I mean? From a Hispanic person's point of view, how important is it that the dealerships got all of the tools, resources, websites, social media in Spanish, not just in English? Talk about that.
No, yeah, absolutely. Listen, so it's important first that we hire someone to speak Spanish, but second of all is what we're going to do about when these customers come to a dealership. So like you have someone to speak Spanish, but when they're about to sign the credit app, when they're going to do the trade appraisal, or they were going to sign the, the papers to get the new car, they don't know what they're signing to because they don't understand anything that is on the paper. And, this is a sad majority of a lot of Spanish people, because sometimes it's like, hey, so we did everything in Spanish, but now I have to deal with all this in English that I don't really understand. So we want to, like as a dealership, we want to make sure that we have all resources available for those people that speak Spanish, and we want to make them feel comfortable as much as we can. For example, like I have like this experience that I have with my dad, like I was saying before. He visited.
Don't tell the story yet. I want you to say. I want you to tell the story.
Okay.
I want you to say the story.
With all this paperwork thing, it's really important that you have it in Spanish. If you want the customer to feel comfortable with you, and obviously your dealership, having everything that you provide them in Spanish is going to be 100% more accurate and more comfortable for the customer to, make business with you.
All right, so let's go through a couple of things. I don't think dealers think about this type of stuff. I'm going to tell you. You are, again, Spanish is your first language. Now you speak English very, very well. But question for you: do you like to research and find stuff in Spanish, or do you like to research and find stuff in English?
Well, I've been living here for 6 years, so I'm used to do everything in English. The only time I speak Spanish was when I visit my family, but everything else in my life right now is English. So music, resources.
When you're researching stuff and you're trying to find information, you know what I mean? Do you research in like Spanish Google or in English Google? Do you do research on Spanish YouTube or English YouTube? Like, what do you look for? Do you type in the search engines in English or Spanish is what I'm asking.
Yeah, I do everything in English. I research everything in English.
But that's because you speak English fluently now. Let's talk about the Spanish demographic, though. Like your father doesn't speak English, so and like your family. So do you think that Hispanic people that Spanish is their primary language, right? Like prospects and potential clients, isn't there a portion of the internet that's in Spanish, like, Google Espanol? Like if like a Spanish speaking person doesn't go to Google English, they go to Google in Spanish because that's what they understand and they speak. And they go to YouTube, they type things in Spanish and then the results come up in Spanish. If you're searching in English, English is going to pop up. But if you're typing in Spanish, which is the same keyboard, it's the same letters, it's just in a different language. If you type in Hola in Spanish in Google, there's going to be Spanish things that pop up. Am I correct or am I incorrect?
No, you're correct. It's funny because when I grab my mom's phone or my dad's phone, everything is Spanish. So everything that you type is going to show up in Spanish.
So that's my point right there. That's what I was looking for right there. What you said. So follow where I'm going with this is this. If you just said that there are a lot of people that are Spanish, that it's difficult or very, very bad experience, trying to research, shop, and buy a car, because the very basic stuff is there's nobody that speaks Spanish. And if they are, it's half-ass broken, uno, dos, tres, like fake-ass Spanish. And it's not really conducive, right? Yeah. And then besides that, almost all the paperwork is in English. So that's difficult, but I'm taking it deeper now. We're going in, V. Okay. So my next question though is, what about if I was trying to research buying a car. Think about this. If the dealership is not creating a Spanish website or a Spanish section on the website with the inventory in Spanish, the products and services in Spanish, everything from the service department to fixed ops, if that's in Spanish, if that's not there, then that dealership can't benefit from them. Only a dealership or a vendor that's coding Spanish websites, Spanish marketing, Spanish advertising, like Spanish social media. I mean, am I on the right track or am I wrong here?
Oh, you are right. You are right. Because if a person is looking for a car and they type it in Spanish and your website is not designed to have that Spanish side, it's not going to come up. Like nothing is going to come up, I bet.
Right. So let's play this out. Let's play this out right now because I can't spell in Spanish. I can barely speak Spanish. I know like prison Spanish. I'm only kidding. Majando, they're coming, right? All right. So I would spell this for me. So 2022 GMC. How do you say GMC terrain or so GMC terrain? And and then what would I type it? Is that, how do you say, is that how it's spelled like that?
Yeah, it's spelled the same. Yes.
Okay. I want to buy. So I would say yo quiero. So how do you spell?
Yeah, quiero is QUI ERO and then space UN and then space and that's it.
So if I say, is that how I say I want to buy a 2022
Yep.
GMC terrain in?
To buy it, just you put yo quiero comprar. So between quiero and un. Yeah. Space and then COMPRAR.
Oh, so there it is.
Yep.
Okay, so let's see what pops up. Oh, look at this. See? So there's this is car.com. Oh, look at this. Yes. I love this. You see this? This is a lead source provider. Okay, there, you know what? This is so stupid though. This is what I'm talking about. This is one of our partners. This is Autoweb. I love Autoweb, but look what they did here. Okay, and so for the people who listen to the podcast, I just typed in, say it in Spanish. What do we just type in?
Yo quiero comprar un 2022 GMC Terrain en Filadelfia.
So we just basically said, I want to buy a 22 GMC Terrain in Philadelphia in Spanish, right?
Yes.
Okay, and so you see how this is there. They're targeting these probably words in Spanish, but it's in English. Like, how stupid is that? If I typed in Spanish, why does it result in English on there? Do you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And they're paying for those ads right there. But let's kind of go through. Look at this on the page where I type in yo quiero comprar un whatever, right? I'm sorry, that's my Spanish. So again, but look at this. None of this shit pops up in Spanish. Is that not crazy?
Yeah.
So
no. Oh, look, it says over there.
What?
It's in Spanish over there. That's the only one I saw.
Where?
Right there. Yep.
Yeah, this is Car Gurus. So let's see what Car Gurus does. I know I hate these people, but still.
They have their website in Spanish.
Yeah, look, the website's translated in Spanish. Do you see this? This is, look, oh, wow, look, even the ads are in Spanish. So these are pop-up windows. So again, even a broken clock is right twice a day. Folks, come on, you're going to let Car Gurus get one better than you? Come on, man. Car Gurus is doing the shit the right way. So what did they do? They obviously did SEO, right? So look at what just happened. We just typed that in Spanish and Car Gurus returned everything in Spanish. So look at this. Everything is in here is in Spanish. Okay, like this is dynamically built. This is really cool. So this is what I'm talking about. This is what a dealership needs to do. The dealership needs to have content written in Spanish. There should be either a section of your website or, to be honest with you, a completely ghosted duplicate website that's done in Spanish. The inventory is in Spanish, the About Us is in Spanish, the Our Team's in Spanish, book the service appointment in Spanish, the trade appraisals in Spanish, the acquisition, sell me your cars in Spanish, we're hiring in Spanish. If you have a Spanish website, a Spanish microsite, a Spanish focus site, that would be good, because then if you have a Spanish website, then you could do Spanish pay-per-click, Spanish search engine optimization. Then you could do Spanish or Hispanic social media ads, Facebook, Instagram, and then WhatsApp. WhatsApp is one of the most popular Hispanic social media platforms because of the free long distance. You could do a lot of stuff on there, right?
Yeah, correct. Absolutely. That's what I used to use to communicate with my family in Puerto Rico. They give you all the tools. They give you like Apple FaceTime, stuff like that.
Okay, so you know how in China they have Alibaba, which is like the Amazon for China? Have you heard of that?
I did not.
Yeah, Alibaba. It's a Chinese like Amazon type thing, you know, and there's different. I know that, like, for example, the Telemundo station and the Hispanic stations and stuff like that. Do they have Spanish people social media? You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure there's Facebook. It could be in Spanish, but is there a platform that Hispanics love besides WhatsApp? What do you guys like?
So far,
and for the record, I'm Spanish too, so I'm one of those guys, but I don't speak Spanish like that at all, really. You know what I mean? So, you know, she's the real Hispanic person compared to me and her because she speaks Spanish fluently. So, do you like, or does your family, your friends, and your Hispanic, comrades, do they have a Spanish social platform that they love?
Just besides WhatsApp, I haven't heard of anything. I mean, Facebook too, because Facebook, you have a thing that you can put it all in Spanish. So Facebook and WhatsApp are the only two social media that I can tell that everyone loves, being in the Spanish community.
What about TikTok? Spanish people in on TikTok dancing and shit?
I don't have TikTok, so I don't know. But
probably ask your girlfriend because she's all over TikTok. Yeah, T got your keys is all over TikTok. But come on, man. Like, Spanish people got some style with dancing, salsa, merengue, blah 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 blah, right? You know. Yeah. And again, that's what TikTok is families just dancing randomly and shit. So I'm pretty sure
if you type that, the highest right now, you put Bad Bunny on TikTok, a lot of musical and like dancing and stuff, it will probably pop up.
Okay, so basically what we've said so far, and I think this is such an important thing to be able to talk about, is that, man, so many dealers are missing an opportunity. Like the lottery says it, you got to be in it to win it. You want to win the lottery, you got to buy a ticket. You can't turn around and talk about, oh man, I wish, what drives me crazy? People talk about, especially when it gets to like $10 million, $100 million, $500 million. It's like, oh, this is what I'm going to buy when I win the lottery. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to buy that. They didn't even bought a damn ticket. They're talking about all the shit they're going to buy, but they haven't even bought a ticket. My point is that dealers are doing the same thing. Dealers want to sell cars. And Hispanic people are one of the most loyal customers that you're ever going to find. If you treat them right and take care of them, they'll be very loyal, and they'll be able to refer friends and family and what have you, and be great referral generators. But if you are not marketing and advertising to the Spanish community, and I don't just mean in Telemundo or, in La Mega and things like that for radio and TV, like those are good, but I'm talking about really maximizing Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, WhatsApp, and YouTube, the Spanish versions, putting content in Spanish, written content, graphical content, video content in Spanish language for optimization, for syndication, and for, traffic generation. Oh my God, you guys are rewind me that. That was a lot of rhymes right there. Then I would say, we don't really have enough presence on the website level, focus site, microsite, search engine optimization, or pay-per-click and things like that, and if we just did that before we even get into the rest of the interview, girl, but if we just did that shit right there, oh my God, how much better would dealerships be? How many more leads can they be able to generate? And remember, think about all the profit centers at a dealership. We're talking about, selling cars to the Spanish community, right? Okay, you like selling cars, trucks, SUVs, minivans, whatever, first-time cars, for business owners, for families, whatever, car sales. But then what about all the servicing of the vehicles, right? For maintenance, oil changes, tires, transmission, suspension, or just service technician stuff, right? Then you've got all the parts business. Then you've got aftermarket business. Then you've got finance and insurance business, right? Then you've got, like maintaining the relationship. You've got CRM stuff. Man, we even get there. Like, let's talk about actually creating CRM content, CRM action plans, CRM workflows, CRM templates, CRM scripts. inbound, outbound process scripts, objections, rebuttals, text message scripts, social media scripts, text chat scripts. You should have all this content, not only to engage and sell a Spanish prospecting client, but to perpetuate the relationship for the complete life cycle of customer relationship management. Come on, speak about this, V. What do you think?
I think it's awesome. And again, you're like targeting a bigger audience. We're talking about the Hispanic community. Besides, no matter where you are here in the United States, you're always going to find a little town that it's going to be full of Hispanic people. And seeing that and marketing that audience, you're going to have more leads, more cars to sell, and keeping that relationship. Because like you said before, Spanish people are really loyal. So if you treat them good, they're going to come back and buy a car. They're going to bring their mom, they're going to be their grandma, they're going to be their uncle, and going to bring the whole family to purchase a vehicle from you.
So now, I love this, but now let's take it up a notch, believe it or not, because this is crazy. Like right here, watch how my mind works, girl, right? All right. So I'm really feeling this. I'm really feeling being prepared. But V, we are in an economic crisis. You know what? I really get frustrated, like dumbass dealers. And I'm not being disrespectful, I'm being honest. You know what I mean? Like if you're dumb, you're dumb, and what drives me crazy is that there's dealers that are like, oh, I don't need to hire a Spanish speaking person. What are you talking about? We don't have a big Spanish community. What are you talking about? Stop coloring in the lines. Okay. Follow me on this. V, are we not in an economic crisis right now? Yes or no?
Yes.
Are we not in an inventory crisis right now?
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay. So what happens when there's low new car inventory? It jacks the prices up to sticker or over sticker, right? But it also creates a conundrum, a problem, because there is not enough new car inventory for the demand. So what does this do? It skyrockets the used car business. The new car business has gone down volume, but the grosses are up, right? But the used car volume and grosses are up. So now here's the thing. A used car is not just located. Let me explain to you. So let's just say that you are in, what town do you live in New Jersey?
Maple Shade.
I knew that, but I wanted you to say it, right? So again, listen, so if you live in Maple Shade, New Jersey, traditionally, if you're looking to buy a Mazda, and there's a Mazda Maple Shade, right? So if you're looking to buy a Mazda, chances are you're going to sell a car mostly in the Maple Shade or surrounding areas. People from California or from Texas are not going to look to buy a brand new car normally from Maple Shade, New Jersey, because there's 50 million other Mazda dealerships or Chevy dealerships, Toyota dealerships. But here's the reality that dealers are not freaking grasping the concept on, is that we don't have new car inventory. We have used car inventory. Guess where you can sell used cars? Everywhere. People will buy a used car from all over the country. My entire 23-year career, when I was selling cars, when I was a manager, and for the last 18 years as a high-level consultant, we've got clients all over the country that are shipping cars all over the place, or people are flying in and picking up their cars, or we're driving their cars, or what have you. So used cars are not landlocked to your geographic area. So follow me on this. I don't care if you lived in Maple Shade, New Jersey, or bumfuck United States, wherever you're at. There might not be a lot of Spanish people in your town. Okay, well, think outside the freaking box. If most dealers are sleeping at the wheel and not maximizing the Spanish, market, if you want to take over shit and really start conquesting and start eating other people's food, one way is to commit and say, you know what? I'm going to go after the Hispanic market. Not only am I going to crush the local Hispanic market, but I'm going to start to advertise my used cars and advertise my car services. You could buy cars from all over the country. Think about this. Miami, Hispanic, California, Hispanic, Texas, Hispanic. Why are you not putting ads digitally or traditionally billboards in those three major areas saying, we want to buy your car? Okay. People, the CarMax does it all the time. I got used car dealers all the time buying cars from all over the country. So my point being is, don't turn around and dismiss me or dismiss this interview, dismiss the Spanish people, because you personally don't see value yet with the Spanish market, or there's not a big Spanish community in your local area. You're thinking too small. Think bigger. Not only can you crush your local, PMA, your primary market area, but with the Hispanic market, if you're equipped the right way with the marketing, advertising, and the HR, you could turn around and sell and buy cars all over the country. especially in this climate. Am I correct? Or what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Attention auto dealers. You need an opportunity to do business. AutoWeb is one of the largest suppliers of high quality leads. High quality buyers. At a 10% closing ratio, you will be at less than $190 per car sold. Don't just settle for what you get. AutoWeb can fully customize your results through targeted markets and/or zip codes, and as a partner, you will get premium placement within search results. Who better to do that than literally the people that invented automotive internet sales? If you want to sell more cars more often and more profitably, then you need AutoWeb.
No, you're absolutely correct. And more when you mentioned those big cities that had a big Hispanic community. You can market all over the United States and have people coming all the way from there just to purchase a used vehicle. I'm with you there.
All right, now I'm ready for the story. Because so what we've talked about in this interview so far is the perspective of, the automotive professional. Well, whether you're a car salesman, car saleswoman, you're a manager, GM, or dealer principal, or you run a dealer group, if we've been talking about specifically how to engage and maximize Hispanic market. But you have a story to tell about your father, which is this is your dad. You love your dad, right? And he went through a horrific experience. And you were part of that experience. And I even got involved like a little bit of this to give you some advice and direction. So I'm going to shut up. I want you to share this story as an example of how Hispanic people are treated every day, including today in our industry, and how fucked up it is and why it's fucked up. So tell us the story.
So a couple months ago, my dad was looking for a vehicle. And obviously he went into Facebook. He went to different pages to try to find his vehicle. Find a vehicle that is 7 hours away from where we live, that is in Philly, basically Reading, but Philadelphia. So he said that he had to drive 7 hours. At this point, I didn't know anything about this whole situation because he didn't tell me. And they said that they had someone over there that speaks Spanish, but cannot speak over the phone because I wasn't in that day. So my dad drove all 7 hours. He had the money down and everything, just ready to buy the vehicle. He got there. There's no one that speaks Spanish. So this person comes in, greeted, and he's like, I don't speak English, so how are we going to do this? So he was like, well, you just sign here, and give me the deposit, and then you come tomorrow to pick up the vehicle. My dad does it. I don't know why. He does it. Then the next day, he gets a call that is like, okay, so don't come and pick up the vehicle because the vehicle is in service, blah, blah. And then a week passed, and my dad called me to advise, like, what should I do? And I was like, Dad, get your money back, because first of all, you don't know the papers you signed. Second, send me a picture of it so we can see what they said. And third, just call. I personally can call so they can give you your money back. So he sent me the pictures, and basically one of the pictures was that he was going to pay $600 every 15 days for this vehicle. So he was going to pay twice in a month. And then it was like, I think it was a 1.5 year deal kind of thing. And I was like, Dad, when do you sign this? What did they tell you? And he was like, well, if I sign that, they approve me the vehicle so I can go and pick it up. And I was like, that's not what it is. You have to pay more than you're already paying for. And I'm going to call so we can get your deposit back. He gave a $1,000 deposit. So I called, and they were like, yeah, we can send you a refund back. And I was like, okay, so for when can I be expected? Because it's 7 hours and, I don't want to have to drive over there to pick up the check. And they were like, no, we can send you the check and we will be able to mail it to you at your address. And I was like, okay. 2 days passed, 3 days passed, nothing in the mail. I called back. I asked to speak with the manager. The manager answered, and he was like, well, in the papers that your dad signed, the deposit is not refundable. And I was like, wait a minute, I read the papers and it doesn't say anything about non-refundable deposit. And he thought he got me because we speak Spanish. I have an accent. So he thought that I didn't understand all the papers. And I was like, sir, the papers doesn't say that you cannot give our deposit back. And, my dad doesn't want this vehicle anymore. So will you be able to refund me the money? He said, we will send you the refund, blah, blah, blah. Just wait a week. So we wait another week. And this time I have Tiana call. They can hear someone that speaks fluent English. So, we want to make sure that we get our money back. Tiana called the dealership. They get a little bit, like rude with us. And they were like, yeah, we're not going to give you your deposit back. That was non-refundable. And again, deposit, like in the papers, it doesn't say anything about non-refundable deposit. So Tiana called, and then that's when Sean got involved and stuff like that. And then I had to call again after that. And then they were like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to give you your money back. So they give us their money back, and they actually mailed it back to my house, my dad's house. And I told my dad, I was like, if you're going to do something about cars, make sure you got me involved, because look, all you have to do, you have to drive 7 hours. They literally saw your face and were like, yeah, we don't care. Just have these guys sign these papers, and then we will stay with the money and not have to give it back to him because he doesn't speak English. So he's not going to understand, basically. So long story short, we got the money back. But what my dad has to go through, and if he didn't have me, what would happen? He would not be calling the dealership back or anything like that, because he would be like, I don't speak English. I'm scared that they're going to say something that, they like, oh, yeah, it says there the deposit is not refundable. And my dad will believe it because, again, he doesn't understand English. So he will see his face and be like, okay, that's fine. Stay with my money. I guess I just lost. But thank God he has us, and he has Tiana as well. And he had you, that you were able to help us and get that money back. And that's what it's so important, that if you work at a dealership, have these papers and have everything to have the customer feel comfortable with you, that whatever they sign in, is actually accurate for them, and to understand and to make sure that they're trusting whatever they're signing.
A couple of things I want to address on here. I want to be clear. I don't believe, and I don't think you believe for a second, that all dealers are shady and all dealers are screwing Hispanic people. So if you're listening, that's not what we're saying at all. Okay, not at all. But the reality is, there's good police, there's bad police, there's good priests, there's bad priests, there's good car people, and there's scumbag car people. So again, it should happen everywhere, in every walks of life. So in no way are we trying to say that, all Hispanic people deal with like craziness. But again, we're just living our reality and sharing this with you. And I'm going to tell you right now, one of the greatest car salesmen that ever lived is Ali Reda. Ali broke the Guinness Book of World Records. I mean, he sold 209 cars in 1 month, 32 cars in 1 day. And in 2017, he sold 1,562 cars in 1 year, which is like 131 cars a month. He hired his own Hispanic salesperson, Carlos Huerta. Carlos, in the first year, sold 30 cars. In the first 15 months, he broke 40 cars on the showroom floor, not getting any crumbs from Ali Reda, not taking any ups whatsoever, not taking any overflow, 100% working in the Hispanic community. Because what did he say? He said to the people, my name is Carlos Huerta. I'm here to help you. He had billboards. They infiltrated him in every friggin' Spanish event, parades, charities, whatever, and they just infiltrated him, and they were sponsoring stuff just to get him involved in the Spanish community. And he said, listen, I'm not trying to sell you anything. If you want to buy a car, I'll help you, but not even worry about buying and selling. Let me see your paperwork. Let me make sure that your paperwork is legit. Let me make sure that you're getting a fair deal on your car. Let me make sure you're getting a fair deal on your trade. If you want to sell your car, let me make sure that you get a fair price in selling your car. Let's say if you have to do service, let me check this out. And my God, what he found is that there were so many dealers, like with your father, they were taking advantage of people, disrespecting them, assuming they're stupid. Just because they have an accent, they think people aren't smart. And that's not the case. There's people that are highly intelligent. They're just not fluent, potentially in English. And, sometimes, somebody might have a good credit score, but they tell them that they don't, or they give them, they make the full spread of points, because they can, because they, they're taking advantage. So again, all we're saying is that having somebody on your team that's an advocate for the Hispanic community. Follow me, guys. Listen to what I just said about this Carlos Huerta guy and Ali Reda. The first part of this interview, when I was talking to, with V, I was talking, predominantly about, marketing and advertising and doing that type of stuff, having websites, having SEO, SEM in Spanish, having social media in Spanish, having contracts, paperwork, buyer's orders, credit apps, trades appraisal forms, all in Spanish. That's the first part. Now, in this conversation, the next part of it is you need to be part of the community. If you really want to leverage the benefit of the Hispanic community, then support the Spanish community. So yes, by respecting them, by providing, all these resources, one thing, but participate. I would say sponsor Telemundo and La Mega, these radio and TV stations. Go to the parades, go to the activities, go where they are and offer them help, offer them guidance, offer them resources. And don't be stupid and just have some bottles of Malta, you know what I mean? And some Taco Tuesdays. And I'm not saying some dumb shit like that. I'm talking about, really embrace the community that you're trying to serve. I called you T, my daughter. V, you're my other daughter, right? So V, how could they get involved and not condescending and stupidly, but like how can they support, you were more native than I am Spanish wise. So I gave you some ideas by doing the radio, TV show and the parades and shit like that. How can dealers get involved? What type of things would be of benefit to support the Hispanic community? How could they do what Carlos Cueta did?
There's a lot of things you can do. And for the town before I moved here, Reading, they used to do this thing that, is the parade, the Puerto Rican parade. You can participate in the parade, like you say. Dealerships can do a Spanish food day to come into the dealership, and they have different food trucks and stuff like that, Spanish food. They can get sponsored by radio station. They can get sponsored by Spanish food places. In Reading, they have a lot of Spanish food places that you can go and be like, hey, take a promotion or something. Yeah, those are all the things I can think of. I think you mentioned all of them.
No, you just gave me some ideas. Let's play for a minute. V, I really like that. I like that dealers get involved with Spanish restaurants and Spanish food trucks and say, hey, listen, we would love to be able to book you. For example, because Tiana's aunt and uncle own Mama's Meatballs and stuff like that. And when we just book, the Mama's Meatball truck, food truck at RK Kia on July 23rd. And but your point, I love that. I love that is go into the Spanish community, to the different restaurants, the different food trucks, and just start to develop conversations with them and maybe offer, not only that, here's how you could kill 12 birds with one stone. Offer them a referral program. Say, hey, listen, we are a big dealership here. We would love to do some cross promotionals. We spend $30, $40, $50, $60,000 a month in advertising. Hey, what if we turn around and did a review on your place and put it on all of our dealerships' social media platforms? Let me help promote your local restaurant, your food truck. And hey, if you give me a slight discount, what if we book your food truck to come in on a Saturday and supply this stuff? Now I'm building all the shit you said. What about this? If you turn around and partner with a radio station or even just buy radio ads, and what about this? Do like a Spanish day. How you have job fairs? Not for jobs, but I'm saying, why don't we turn around and just advertise on Spanish radio, Spanish TV that we're having, an open house or a client appreciation event or a product launch? Why can you imagine getting all the Spanish people love to party, yo, right or wrong? Spanish people love a good party and free food,
yes.
Right? And good
yes,
music.
We do.
So I'm just
free
saying,
food, good music.
I'm telling you. So can you imagine at Patriot, right? At Patriot Buick GMC, we could have a Spanish theme. Again, not condescending like sombreros and shit like that, but we could turn around and have a Spanish theme event where there's Spanish staff that's in the event, which we could hire if you don't have a bunch of them that speak English, and I'm not just talking about the servers and the bartenders. I'm talking about people that could engage and basically, V, how car dealership has tent sales and they have staffed events, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you could do even a direct mail piece to the whole Spanish community, right? You could do radio, TV, and just basically have the Spanish community there, have Spanish food, have the cars out, and then you could turn around as people get food, you could turn around and show them the different vehicles that you have. Maybe here's a different one, okay? What about this? Completely different, another idea is, you could do one of those safety inspection things. You could advertise on Spanish radio, Spanish TV, work with all the Spanish daycare centers, Spanish neighborhoods, and say, look, on Wednesday, we're going to have a checkpoint, for car safety seats. We have a certified car safety seat inspector that's going to inspect almost like a DWI checkpoint. Just bring your car so you want to keep your kids safe. You know what I mean? And then while you're here, we'll have some food. That way, when people bring in all their cars in, the salespeople could start clocking those cars and try to buy those cars. You know what I mean? Right or wrong?
Yeah, no,
and
you're
buy this car,
absolutely
trade this car. So that, and again, we could go on and on and on. But what I'm just saying is, if this is on your radar, there's so many things that you can do to do this. Now, V, will you help anybody like for free? Like all of our like people who listen to this podcast, our Dealer Synergy clients, the Millionaire Car Salesman Facebook group, you know, if they would like to do a free consult with you, I mean, you've been in the automotive industry for, you know, about 3 years now on the front lines and on the training vendor side, you have a lot of insight, you know, how do they get a hold of you? What's your email and what's your cell phone?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So my email is going to be Vaesly, is VAESLY @dealersynergy.com. My phone number is 484-219-9150. That's how you can get a hold of me. And listen, there's nothing else that I want to do to help my community and make it grow. And, you know, at Dealer Synergy, that's what we do. And that's what I do. You know, that's what I want to become, you know, be able to help my, you know, my community in so many ways. So, you know, that's what I'm here for.
Well, let's talk about that because, you know, I'm really proud that you're on our team, you know, not just because you speak Spanish, like you're an amazing analyst, you know, you're becoming a really good trainer and you're becoming a good asset within the organization, you know, so because of you on the team, we already have a lot of CRM content, CRM templates, CRM processes that are in Spanish, but some of the things that Dealer Synergy could help is everything we talked about today. We could help dealers create and support this stuff. Anything from working with the Hispanic radio stations, Hispanic television stations, you know, producing Spanish video content, you know, Spanish videos for social media, Spanish videos for your website, Spanish videos for your CRM, Spanish videos for BombBomb, for video emails, video text message, how-to videos in Spanish, you know, safety tips, ownership tips, you know, Spanish commercials. In addition to that, we could help with the marketing, advertising, and branding, you know, for Spanish, everything from websites, search engine optimization, video optimization, social media, content creation, and implementation. Woo, man.
Everything.
Yes. All right. So V, let's talk about this. How did that make you feel as a daughter, you know, that your dad got totally like fucking abused and not appreciated? They made him drive 7 hours there, 7 hours back, try to hold $1,000 deposit, ransom, and just totally shit it all over your dad. How does that make you feel, especially being part of this industry?
It makes me feel angry and really sad because they weren't able to, you know, they basically trashed him over. And then when I called, they thought that I was the same, that I didn't speak English. So it made me more furious that they thought that they can run us over. Like, it was really a bad experience. And, you know, as a Spanish person that speak and, you know, I'm part of the community, it just made me really sad what people have to go through sometimes. Not like, you know, in the community and in general, like, it's really sad.
And you know what? It's perception. You know, again, I think that there's a faction of our industry that are predators. You know what I mean? Like in anything, there's predators that are priests. There's predators that are police. There's predators that go, you know, like sexual predators. There's like weirdo predators. And I think that there's people in the industry that look for targets of opportunity, people that they think are weak or stupid, that they could turn around and just make an easy home run with. And again, thank God, I think that's the minority. I don't think the majority of our industry is like that, but there are pirates and you know, shady people out there, but that's not our industry. I love our industry. And I believe that the majority of our industry are good people that want to help people. You know what I mean? But the reality is that there's so many fucked up people in our industry because it's a big industry. It's not that because there's so many fucked up people. It's just that, I mean, like, it's the car industry. Everybody needs a car. Everybody almost drives a car. You know, I mean, there's millions of millions of cars on the road. So that's why there's a lot of people that get screwed over. So this is an important topic. So V, as we start to wind down, I want to really thank you for taking time to share your knowledge, share your personal experience, not only as an automotive professional, on the dealer side, as an automotive professional on the vendor side, but then your personal experience with your own family, going through this, because I think that by giving awareness to this, by kind of explaining this to the Millionaire Car Salesman group, the Millionaire Car Salesman podcast, and to the industry, people will be like, oh my God, holy shit, I didn't think it was that bad. Because for most dealers, it's not. So most dealers might not understand that, that they might not be pirates and doing this crazy shit, but there's so many other dealers that are. If they just stepped up and did these things, you know what I mean? Like, there'll be less pirates out there. We need more good people that care, but not just care, that are doing something about it, that are professionally preparing to engage the Hispanic demographic. And I want to stress this to you guys again. Maybe I'm biased because, I'm Belizean, I'm Honduran, I'm 75% Central American, right? 25% Sicilian. And my wife's Puerto Rican and my kids are Puerto Rican, etc. So maybe I'm biased, but I think that, Hispanic people are good people. They're loyal people. They're hardworking people, so like anything else, if they're treated right, especially because they've been through so much bullshit before and so much disrespect and so much, miscommunication, if somebody actually takes the time to show them that we appreciate them, that we respect them, that we're here to help them, to guide them, and we're committed to them, my God, you're going to have clients for life. V, right or wrong?
Oh, you're absolutely right. Absolutely.
Okay. What else would you like to say as we wind down here, girl?
I think we pretty much said everything. This is my first time in the podcast, and I'm really grateful that you have me, Sean. And, be able to speak more a little bit about how, in dealerships, we don't have enough resources to help the Hispanic community and any other community, if you think about it. I'm really grateful for this opportunity and be able to, put a little bit of grain to help my community. So hopefully when dealerships hear this podcast, they start thinking about put the bigger picture and, bring those marketing and advertising, bring those people in for a dealership and, hire new Spanish speaking people as well. So I hope these help a lot in your dealership.
Yeah, I'd like to also add more Spanish content to the group. What you might want to do is maybe you can interview one of our Hispanic BDC reps or one of our Hispanic salespeople, but solely in Spanish. See, I could be in the background for you, I'll be like, your Zoom buddy or something, or your moderator, but I can't do an interview in Spanish, obviously. So I think it would be kind of cool to provide content and training content in the Millionaire Car Salesman group, for the Spanish community. So here's what I want you to do. I just want you to spend like another minute or two. And I know let's say if there's people are going to be listening to the podcast all the way to the end, but I want you to speak, in Spanish only and speak to the Spanish salespeople, the Spanish manager, the Spanish owners that might be listening to this, even though it's at the very end, and just basically, let them know that you and Dealer Synergy are here. You know what we do. So talk to them, let them know how we could help them, not only what we talked about today, but in all the other stuff we do, for Dealer Synergy.
It's fine. I'll have to switch my brain to Spanish. But no, hoy, ¿verdad? En el podcast estaban hablando de cómo ayudar a la comunidad en español y pues nosotros trabajamos en Dealer Synergy, ahora tenemos una persona que habla en español, que soy yo, y nosotros podemos ayudarles con diferentes trainings, así sea en el teléfono, sea en tu CRM, en lo que sea que necesites ayuda en español, nosotros podemos proveerte eso. En adición a eso, también puedo yo proveer algún tipo de training que así sea la persona en el piso, así sean las personas que están en el BDC. So, cualquier cosa que ustedes puedan, que ustedes piensen que necesitan ayuda, nosotros aquí en Dealer Synergy podemos ayudarles, dealersynergy.com, o aquí en el Millionaire Car Salesman Group as well.
All right, perfect. Well, V, I am honored that you are a very, very important aspect of the Dealer Synergy team. You are family, girl, you know what I mean? And I appreciate your insight, and I look forward to us moving the needle with the Hispanic market and with dealers embracing and engaging the Hispanic market better and more professionally.
Yeah, as well, Sean. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
So there you have it, the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast. This podcast comes to you every week from the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. If you have a question about the show or would like the chance to become a guest, feel free to contact us directly at 856-546-2440 or email us at millionairecarsalesman@gmail.com. This program is a presentation of Synergy Records, produced by Tiana Mick and L.A. Williams. Production and engineering by L.A. Williams. The Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast is hosted every week by L.A. Williams and the Millionaire Car Salesman himself, Sean V. Bradley. The Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast can be found everywhere, so please don't forget to review, subscribe to, and share the show. Thanks for listening to the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast, and remember, where I'm from, money provides options. The Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast is sponsored in part by Autoweb. If you enjoyed this podcast, then make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave us a review. Let some other folks know about it. Oh, and don't forget to join the Millionaire Car Salesman group on Facebook. We'll see you there.